Hi there, my name is Ollie Burns and I perform on wrestling shows as Priscilla, Queen of the Ring. And today I'm going to talk to you about the difference between heels and faces. Now, if you found this video, chances are you're already familiar with the terms heel and faces. And we all know that a heel is the villain of a wrestling match and the face is the hero. But most people aren't familiar with where these terms come from. So that's something I'm going to cover today, and more importantly, we're going to look into what we can learn from these terms and apply to our wrestling to make what we do more engaging for an audience. We will start with the face, and like most people know, the face is the hero or the good guy of the wrestling match. And like you've probably assumed, the term face does relate to your face. But that's not to say that a face is the one who's the good looking person in the match, although just thanks to the way the world works, that does tend to make it a bit easier to get over as a face. Nevertheless, the term face does relate to your physical face, but maybe in a way that perhaps you hadn't thought of before. See, typically, the face is the underdog, the person who gets beaten down. Whether or not it's because their opponent is bigger or better than them, or perhaps because their opponent has cheated to get one up on them, at the end of the day, the face is the good guy who's trying to come back in the face of adversity. Now, the term face does relate to your face. However, the reason that term came about is because the face uses their face to tell the story. If you think to big blockbuster Hollywood action films and superhero movies, then typically when we see our hero in peril, we're looking at close-up expressions of the pain and the trauma that they're going through. Typically in those movies, we see a scene where that hero is down and out, but then you see an expression change on their face as they realise that they have found a way to get revenge on the villain. And similarly, in wrestling, when you're using your face to emote the story as well as your physical moves, you will find that the audience finds it much easier to engage with what you're doing and find it much easier to follow along the action. So if you've been booked as a face, bear in mind that your facial expression is what you want to project to that audience. They want to see you in pain so that when you come back, they're able to get behind you even more than before. When I'm selling during wrestling matches, I try to lift my face up. I try to look directly at the audience, reaching out to them, showing on my face that I'm in pain and that I need them to clap for me. And sure enough, when they do clap, I use my facial expressions to show that I am grateful for their response. I thank them, I smile, I nod, I go, yeah, that's exactly what I needed. Now I've got the energy to fight back. You will see this with classic wrestling stars who are known for being big faces in wrestling. People like Cena, Hogan, The Rock, Austin. They are constantly projecting their face to the audience to show the emotional responses that are going through them at that time. Even if you're not planning on replicating these kind of performers when you're doing your own wrestling matches, it's still really useful to do your homework and check out some big matches where those faces had big comebacks. Watch and learn the amount of times that they project their face to tell the story, both for the cameras and for the audience. The same goes for a heel. Although with a heel, they're not projecting from their face, they're actually projecting from behind or from the heels of their boots. The term heel comes from the basic advice that if you want to show somebody that you disrespect them, then you turn your back. That kind of dismissive action makes people angry, so that when they're giving all their energy to the heel and what they get is clear rudeness, they then know even more than before that that person disrespects them, and it grows in terms of anger and it grows in terms of their need to see the face come back and give that heel their comeuppance. The term heel comes from the fact that when you've got your back turned to somebody and you're scuffing your boots up, what they see is the bottom of your shoes. They see your heel. So when it comes to interacting with the audience, although it is great to have a great put down, that somewhat encourages the audience more to interact with you. What you want is the audience to interact with the face. They want the energy placed on the face so that the face goes, yeah, thank you for that noise, I will come back. You'll notice typically with heels that enjoy drawing with the audience and putting them down, that the audience tends to really enjoy the heels matches. And that's great if you're trying to build fans, but at the same time, it doesn't clearly tell the story that we want the face to come back. If anything, it could encourage the audience to want the heel to stay on top for longer, which really isn't something that you want to do. So keep in mind that if you're a face, project with your face and show your emotion. And if you're a heel, project with your back and your heels to show that you disrespect people. If you want some further reading on this subject and you want to see some evidence, then check out any tag match done by pretty much any major company in the world of wrestling. You'll see very quickly that virtually every single tag match that you see on your TV has the faces at the far side of the ring from the hard cam or the main camera that's capturing the action. This is because it allows those faces to show you their facial expressions as they want to get that tag, desperately trying to get the audience involved, looking around and thanking the audience for their interaction. Whereas the heel team will be on the closer side of the ring with their backs to the audience. This naturally sets in the back of your head that there is a level of disrespect. It puts your focus on the face's face so you can see how much they want that tag, and it makes you as a fan want that tag even more. The alternative is that the face has their back to the audience. They then have to reach around every time they want to get a tag. I don't know about you, but if I'm trying to make a tag and at the same time I'm reaching around trying to get audience response, it looks as though I'm trying to do two things at once. Whereas if I'm reaching inwards and towards the audience at the same time, I can get them going whilst telling the story at the same time, not having to break character to do this and that at the same time, and it allows the audience to just follow the action more easily and more subconsciously without having to work out exactly what's going on. So that would be my advice to you. If you're a face, push with the face. If you're a heel, push with your back. Whatever you're doing, always bear in mind that your physical stature and the way you move around the ring is interpreted in different ways. So if you're stuck for characterization, those are two basic things you can keep in mind that should help you moving forwards. Thanks for watching today. I have been Ollie Burns. Be sure to subscribe for future content so that you can continue to study the theory of wrestling.